guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I have already got my makeup base done, and that is because today I'm going to be doing a tutorial using the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette. Harry got this for me for Christmas last year. That's so weird to say, last year. And I've been hanging out and waiting to use it because I really wanted to film a tutorial with it and sort of like a first impression. I have used Huda Beauty shadows before and they are amazing. The mattes are super buttery. The shimmer shades are just like next level gorgeous. But you never know, this palette could be completely different because depending on the color, obviously different ingredients go into each shade of eyeshadow, and therefore sometimes formula can really vary. So even though I do love Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes and they're like my absolute favorites, you still don't know because the formula could be quite different for the green shades. And certainly to achieve different pigmentations and stuff, different ingredients can really change that. So I'm excited to see how this goes, and I don't think I've ever worked with green before on myself. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, not gonna lie. I have like, I don't know, what color are my eyes? I don't know, I usually say that they're like a baby poo brown because they kind of are. They're just like this weird, they're like not quite green, not quite yellow, not quite brown. They're just kind of that weird in between. Sometimes depending on the lighting, my eyes can be super, super yellow, like gold. And sometimes they can look really brown and other times they can look green. I don't know. It's just lighting or what I've eaten that day, who knows. So I'm not really sure how green is going to suit me. I personally never wear green. I don't own any green outfits except for like khaki green, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So I'm just gonna jump on into this. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and let's just get started. Okay, so honestly, first glance at this palette, I'm very intrigued. There's sort of like some very earthy greens in there. They're not like super vibrant greens. They're more sort of like, well, this one's quite minty and I'd say that's probably like the most like oomphy one. And then the rest are quite like earthy toned, pretty wearable to be honest. So it's not as scary as I thought, but I'm still like, in my head I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. I think the best thing to do is just start though. Let's just jump into it and we'll go from there. We do have 3 mattes to work with. So we've got this minty green, this more, I'd say it's like a fiddle leaf fig kind of green. And then this is kind of more like a browny, well, it's not even really green to me. This is like more of a like really cool tone brown. So they're the mattes. This is harder than I thought. I don't really know. All right, let's just go for it. I'm going to start out by taking my Sigma E40 brush. Sigma brushes are my absolute faves. You guys know this. You can use my code CHELS10 if you want to get 10% off. I'm just going to jump in though with this brush into that minty green. I don't know the names of them. Do these even have names? No. Oh, wait, yeah, they kind of do. Mint matte. Well, what did I say it was? Minty green. It's mint matte. So I'm going to go in with this mint matte shade. And this is just going to go through the crease. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. I'm not used to seeing that colour on my eyeball. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so that blended how I expect them to. They usually blend really effortlessly. I'm just kind of shook by this colour. Like, do I build it up or is that just going to freak me out even more? Oh, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. This is really out of my comfort zone green. This is kind of looking a little more blue on the eye though. Oh, this is scary. Okay, now that I have the other eye done, I'm kind of getting used to it. I still don't know how I feel about green on myself, but baby steps. I'm just a bit scared. Okay, I'm gonna take my, what do I want to do next? What brush do I want? Okay, I'm gonna take my Sigma E25 brush now, and I'm gonna go in with that sort of darker green, the one that I described as like a fiddle leaf fig kind of shade. And I'm going to pop this through the crease to define it a little more. Wow. I really don't know how I feel about this. I'm just gonna blend that a little more. I feel a little silly right now, but I'm hoping it will all come together. Okay, I'm not hating it as much. Now that I'm like adding more and more color to it, I'm liking it a lot more. It's still like weird to see me in these colors, but I think it's because they're very like cool toned. Green is like a cool color and I'm so used to warm tones, and that's like where I live, the warm tones, and this is so like not what I do. So I'm just like a little, I'm just not really sure what to do. That's the long and the short of it. I just don't really know. I don't know. I just don't know, you guys. Okay, what do I want to do now? I think I'm going to continue with the mattes and just get a feel for that. I'm going to go in with this sort of browny khaki kind of shade. I'm just going to define the crease even more with this, just on that outer V though. Wow. I don't want to take it all the way through, just the sort of outer section of the eye. Look, I'm not used to these colors, but it is blending really nicely. Like the quality of the shadows are good. I feel like some of these colors are a little clingy, but I think that is my fault. I don't think it's the shadows. It's just the eyeshadow base that I have on. I think that I didn't quite set it properly. Like I did put some, what did I put on it? I put on some Kat Von D translucent locket powder over the top, but I did it very like haphazardly. I didn't really like take my time to really pat it in, and I think that's why like some of them are just kind of a little grabby in areas, but I think that's because my lid is, well, it's not that tacky. Maybe a little tackier in some areas than others. So I don't think that's the fault of the shadows. I think that's my fault. I'm going to go back in with that mint green again, just to try and blend everything together. And because I'm sort of trying to postpone going in with more shades because I'm scared. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this kind of fiddled leaf fig shade. Look at me, I'm just like naming them. I'm going to pop that on the outer third of the eye. And I think I'm just going to do a good old cut crease because I know that will suit my eye shape. And then if I don't suit these actual colors, it doesn't matter so much. So at least it'll be flattering in some way. You know what this needs? Okay, so looking at the palette, right? I really am tempted to go in with this shade, but it's a shimmer shade. But I really feel like this palette just needed an extra matte that was more on the yellow side of things, just to really brighten and warm it up. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yeah, I just feel like it needs some yellow, and I'm really reaching for this shade here. But it's a shimmer, so I don't know. I might have to go in with that maybe in the inner corner a bit later. I don't know. We'll just keep going and see how this happens. Just let it happen naturally. Now that I have more of that green down, I'm liking it a lot more. I'm also going to, I'm not picking up any more product, but I'm just going to run this underneath the lower lash line just while I'm blending. Sort of run the risk of looking like you've been punched in the face, that's all. See, I think my issue is these colors look so blue, like so blue in real life. I'm not really sure how it's like translating on camera, but I just feel like it's a lot of blue. Like a lot of blue. And I'm really not into blue. Like to me, as I'm blending, I'm like, this is blue. Maybe if I wait till I add some shimmer, it will be a bit different. All right, I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of this brown. Maybe this will kind of mute the blue tones a little. Yes, so see, that definitely like stops it from looking super like vibrant blue. I think that's as good as it's gonna get with the mattes, so I'm gonna jump in to the shimmers. And you know what, I was pretty brave. I wore white today. I've also done my entire base. I don't have any fallout whatsoever. I do know that Huda Beauty shadows are pretty good with their fallout. Even in the pan, you guys will notice that there is pretty much no kickback at all, which is great. And they still perform really beautifully and they're nice and pigmented. So that's all good. I'm just hoping that the same goes for the shimmers as well. So let's cut the crease. To do this, I'm going to take my, where'd you go? Oh, there it is. So to cut the crease, I'm gonna take my NARS, this is their Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. And this is just like, pretty much like a concealer, but it's an eyeshadow base. Don't really know what the difference in formula is, but it does the trick. Okay, so I've cut the crease pretty lightly, just sort of as like a guide, because I'm just gonna go over it with some shimmer now. I'm gonna go on with this top right kind of, I want to say like a minty. They're all pretty minty. I feel like I keep using mint as an example, but they're all minty. I'm just gonna see how this picks up on the brush first of all. This one is more of just like your standard shimmer, whereas this one here is more of like a foiled shadow, I would say. It's definitely, you can see in the texture of it that like it's definitely like more of a foiled shadow by the size of the actual like little bits itself. I don't know what you'd call it. So let's try this one first. I'm just gonna pack this sort of in the middle of the eye. See, I'd say this was sort of blue as well. Like, it's obviously green, but it's more on the blue side of things. It's on the fence between blue and green. Very pretty though. The more I'm progressing with this, the more I'm liking it. Yes, so nice. It also picked up on the brush really well, which is good, and it transferred onto the lid from the brush really well. I didn't have to wet it. I didn't have to wet the brush. I didn't have to wet my eyelid, which is really good. So now I'm gonna go in with this more foiled eyeshadow. Hopefully it picks up on the brush as well. Okay, so see, this is the difference here. I don't know if you guys can see this. So on the brush itself, it's definitely more like fleckly. And when diving into the color itself, it kind of like flecks everywhere. So it's definitely more of a foiled shadow compared to the rest of them. And it's like just like falling off my brush. So yeah, definitely more foiled. These usually don't transfer onto the lid very well, but we'll see. Whoa, okay, I was so wrong. That transferred really nicely. Wow, that's pretty. We do have some fallout though. Whoops. That transferred onto the lid from my brush so well. I'm surprised. Normally foil shades don't transfer onto the eye very well from the brush and like vice versa. But wow, that did such a good job. Yeah, see, now I'm really starting to like it. So pretty. I still don't think green is my color, but this is pretty. Can't deny that. Okay, so in terms of foiled shadows, what I was saying before about how they usually don't pick up on a brush very well and then transfer over onto your eye very well, is that normally foiled shadows, because they're kind of like bigger chunks, it's a lot harder for them to kind of, with a bristle of a brush, get smoothed out and like, the best way I can say is like squished, and all that pigment and like buttery goodness be smoothed out. But I really think that Huda has skyrocketed her formula for this, because you'll know that like with a foiled shadow, if you use your finger, it usually is like super pigmented, super easy to like swipe on there. It's buttery, it's gorgeous. And that's because A, your finger's warm, so it's gonna like kind of melt it down a little bit. And then also because you're really like pressing it into the skin, whereas a brush can't really do that with its bristles. And what I wanted to show you with that is, this is the original Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. So she's got a lot of foiled shadows here. well loved by me. But what you'll see is if I grab a brush real quick. All right, so even if I grab a dense shader brush and I go in with, say, this color here, it doesn't really pick up on the brush that well. And then if I were to swipe that on my arm, it's not really giving me a lot. But if I go in with my finger, it's beautiful, right? Yes, we can all see this. Brush swatches versus finger swatches. This is why I don't do swatches on my channel with eyeshadow, because I really don't think that they translate to how they perform. As you can see, brush, finger, there's really like no comparison. This looks shit, this looks great. Now let's fast forward and go into this foiled shade, which I really think that Huda has remastered, because if I pick up this one on the brush, again, it's not picking up on the brush that great, but it's definitely more so than the first. And then if we do a swatch, still not fabulous, but still better than this. And patting really helps. And then again, if I go in with my finger, much better. But as you can see, so what I was trying to show you guys was that these two are really no comparison, whereas these, it's much better with the brush with this one versus this one. So you can definitely see that she has improved her formula a lot. I just really want to show you guys like how foil shadows don't really translate in swatches, and they're a little bit hard to work with, but I can tell that Huda has really thought about this and has tried to make it as good as she can with a brush. I still think maybe if I went in with my finger it would be even more stunning and intense, but for a brush, that's pretty amazing. All right, finally, I'm gonna go in with this shade here, and I'm just going to take my Sigma E30 brush for this and just get right into that inner corner. Alrighty, I still don't know how I suit green, but I am actually very happy with how this turned out, and the performance of these shadows were amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and see how I like it, and then I'll be back with you guys very shortly. Alrighty guys, so I am looking at this and I actually love it. I actually really like it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. But I had this idea, and this is either gonna like completely ruin this look or it's going to be amazing. You know how I said that I wanted to add a little bit of yellow? Well, what I thought I would do is take my Kat Von D. This is their Daffodil Longwear Brow Pomade. So technically it is a brow pomade, but I am going to put it into my waterline just to add that pop of yellow. This could look terrible or it could look great. Bailey's drinking some water. You right, buddy? He's a bit hot. It's so hot today. Are you okay, Papa? Oh, good boy. So I'm gonna grab my Huda Beauty eyeliner brush. This is the only one I could find that is clean. It's like just like a really little tiny baby brush. Mind you, I know full well this is not supposed to go on my eyes. It's for my brows. I know that, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't know. Just checking if my eye is going to freak out at this because it's not meant to go on my eye. I love how casual I am about it, like, oh, it's just my eyeball, no big deal. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, so it's just added like a little more pop of yellow. Please keep in mind, this is not meant for your waterline, so don't try this at home, kids. Okay, I'm quite happy with my choice of doing that. I think that has just taken this look to a whole new level. There is no eye irritation. There is no issues there. I tried to be really careful and keep it as close to the actual lash line as possible and not go too far into my eye. I really like it. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. I also had another idea, but I also don't know if this is gonna ruin it or just like complete the look altogether. So I've got my NYX Vivid Brights. And what I want to do is actually like cut the crease with this beautiful yellow shade. This is in the shade Vivid Halo. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it could just really tie everything together. What do you guys think? I don't want to ruin the look, but at the same time I'm like, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's play with makeup. That's the point, right? If it turns out shit, whatever. Alright, let's go into it. Now, I will be honest with you guys, as much as I love the NYX Vivid Brights, I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. They do not last at all. They kind of crumble and fall off. So if you are hoping to recreate this look, I wouldn't recommend doing this step. I'm just doing this because I think it's going to look beautiful in photography and it's going to last about 3 hours and then it's done. These just tend to crumble and flake off. But they are an affordable alternative to any other coloured liners that might be on the market. But just keep in mind that they don't last very long. So just something to be aware of. You know what? I don't think it ruined it. I think it's just kind of added a little more. What do you guys think? I don't think that's ruined it. It's kind of just... I actually really like it. Okay, great. This is fantastic. I'm not taking it all the way across. I'm just kind of tapering it off as it gets darker towards the outer corner. Yes. Okay, I think that was like the best decision ever. This side's a little bit thicker than this side. This side is good. I'm very happy with my decision. Alrighty guys, so that is the finished look. I am actually so happy with how this turned out. Like, I did not think that I would like this look at all when I first started. You guys know I was just like, ooh, I don't know. I still don't know if green is like a color that I will rock all the time, but certainly I am not hating on this look at all. I think it is so beautiful. As I said earlier, I think that these shades performed so well. I am very impressed with the foiled shadow, and you know what, you guys, I really would highly recommend this if you are into greens. If you're a green gal, it's a finished look. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what your opinion is on this look. Do you like it? Do you think that maybe green is not quite my color? I don't know. We'll see. We'll have a little more play with this. I want to give this more of a go and definitely try out a few more of the shades too. Don't forget that I always list full makeup details over on my Instagram, so make sure that you guys go and check that out if you're interested in any of the other products that I used on my face today. That is the place to see it. Otherwise, I hope that you guys have an awesome day and I will see you in my next video, if not sooner. Bye.